Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Well, this is going to be part 37 of our Snowflake Zero to Hero series. And in this part, we will be diving into changes, the powerful feature that act as an alternative to Stream in Snowflake. Now, the big question today is, it changes actually better than streams or not? So we will figure out that by the end of this video. But first, let's have few practical questions or few practical scenarios you might already be asking to yourself. So while working with Steam, you might encounter few of the challenging questions or practical questions. The very first thing is, what if I want to capture only the partial data changes? I just wanted to insert or update, or probably I wanted to capture the changes only for one operations. Second, what if I'm not clear whether I should be going for default or append only streams, but want one solution who can help me to figure out result for both scenarios? So client initially say that have a stream which is going to just capture the insert only records. But later he said no, someone is actually making some update or delete statement. Now capture these also. But the problem is you have to create a separate stream for that. Similarly, what if you have multiple person in your team and every user wants independently read changes without interfering you or without interfering any other teammates? So how we are going to actually solve it? If any of that sounds that you it like if any of that sound like a practical use case which you may be using or which you were actually looking for, then the Snowflake changes might be what you are looking for. So the changes in the Snowflake, which is this clause which enables querying the change tracking metadata for a table or a view within a specified interval of time without requiring or without having a need of stream. Okay, so the stream basically gives you more flexibility, unlike the changes gives you more flexibility, unlike stream, and this give you time-bound delta, easier multi-consumer access, more flexibility in querying. That's like these are the couple of benefits of changes over the streams. Changes is declarative and lightweighted, while streams are better for automated and continuous ingestion pipeline. So suppose my requirement is that I need to like audit the changes only and only for particular 1 hour or 2 hours, then yes, the changes will be the one. If I wanted to go for a time bound saying only capture the delta between T1 and T2, so then I will be going for changes. Then if I have a requirement where a multiple peoples or teammates want to work together and they wanted to read their specific data, then yes, changes will be the one. So let's look at everything in the practicals, how we are going to set up the streams, what is the basically the requirement to use the streams, what is the prerequisite. So the very first thing which you will be keeping in your mind that if I wanted to utilize this change feature of the Snowflake, then either you should have a stream on table or enable the change tracking. How are we going to do that? Let's look into it. So let's go to the Snowflake here. All right. So in this one, what we're gonna check it. So let's look at some of the data which we already have it, right? So I'm going for this changes and all. So this was the script which I was just trying before recording this video. So hey, I do have this table. Uh, let's say I do have this Netflix. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to create one stream on this table Netflix. Now, if you will look at the Netflix, there I do have 97 records. I have this one ID, this Harry Potter and all. Let's up, let's suppose I update this one title, and updating the show ID from 1 to 2. I can make very simple operations and all. So I'm writing update Netflix, set show ID equal to 2, where show ID equal to 1. I made this one operation. Now In the next operation, let's say the one person is working on to fixing the show id and there another person who is working on to fixing the titles. So let's have a title which is Iron Man 2, make it like into into this camel cases. Okay, now if you will look it into the streams, you will be having four records, two for each. Okay, because for one this was having 8 when we have updated the title. The second one was as 2 because it was earlier as 1 but the show id equal to 2. And if you will scroll to the right, you will be seeing your metadata update and action columns. Now, what if I just wanted to consume this entire data, or let's say there is a requirement to consume a partial data? You know that how you can consume the entire data, right? You just can create either transient table or a permanent table, and then the entire data will be gone. Okay, just in simple one. If you do not remember, then you're gonna run it, and there is no data. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to reverse these things so that we will be having a record. So one update, and this time I'm going to make Iron Man. I do have these one. Now again I will be having 4 record in the stream because I made the changes after consuming it. Now the big problem is I want to capture only partial data without impacting the changes. So suppose I want this the changes only for made on the show ID on 8, or let's say 8, 10, 20. I'm just taking a one rough calculation that I want only and only want to know these 8 changes needs to be captured. What if there are hundreds of like changes and all, or there are a few other things also. I mean it's going to be hypothetical scenario, but assume that you have to maintain a separate table for your changes. Now, what you gonna do it? You're generally going to keep a one query like select star from strnet where show id equal to 8. You're gonna get these 2 records. Can we store these partially without impacting the other record? What I mean by this, I do have 4 records. I want to capture only for 8, so I'm creating one table BCD. Now in the BCD, yes, I do have the partial result, which is fine. That was my requirement. But there was another requirement without impacting other changes. I do not want my data needs to be corrected with by impacting my friends or by impacting my colleagues requirement. Now, if you will look into the select star from strnet, you see there is no data. That means this is going to be one challenge for me. Now, second, what if I just wanted to capture the changes for 1 or 2 hours? So that's where we have the changes in the picture. Now, before changes, as I was explaining, that we would be having a need either enable change tracking on the table or a stream. And how can we know this? You need to run the show tables command. And if you will look at it, okay, that's why it is gonna take so much time today. Okay, maybe let me just cancel it. Reporting, it's I'm sure it's because of my internet. Show tables one more time. Yeah, sorry. So if you will look at it and you scroll to the right here, there is one thing change tracking. For most of the things, it is off. So we have to enable it. Now, because we have created a stream already on this Netflix table, so you will be seeing this is on for one table. And if you're going to select it, you will find it is on only on Netflix table. But how are you going to create, how are you going to enable without having a stream? For that, you need to run, let's say, I'm going one more time, this show tables, alter table, and I want it on table customer, customer, and then you will be writing set change tracking equal to true. Here we're gonna write set change tracking equal to true. Now, when you're going to run this, that means now whatever the data changes you're going to make on this customer table, you can capture it without having a need of the stream. Okay, now if you look at the line number 6, scroll to the right, change tracking is on. So that's how you can enable it. But now coming to the main question or main challenge, how we going to use it, and what if I wanted to capture only for 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and the third, what if multiple users are going to work together and I wanted to have a two separate tables for each person. Okay, so if you will going go through with the on the documentation on the syntax of for the syntax, you will be finding that there are multiple things, but I will be covering only the highlighted and the important part which you need to know, because we already have the stream here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make like the same changes, but this time I'm going to make it like set id equal to 1, and this here is going to be iron man 2, and this is, yeah, Iron Man 2. So I made this one update operation. Then we do have another update operation. Now what is the how many record I do have? 4 records. Okay, but this time I want a dedicated, a separate table for a person called Vicky. So Vicky say that, hey, can you please help me to have a one table only where I'm going to capture the show ID equal to 8. So I already have this query. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have now, if you will look at it, I'm not doing anything complex. Just create or replace table name, like the CTAs, and this is going to be select star from, but this time focus on it. Right now, I'm not going to query a streams. I'm only and only going to query my table. So basically, your syntax is going to be like select star from table. And then you need to write changes. And after that, you will be providing information. This information, as I said, you are not clear whether it should be append only or a default. Then here you are going to mention either default or append only. Next, you will be writing at, and here either you can mention the timestamp or you can mention the streams. In fact, this you can even end it at timestamp. That means I want only the changes between these two time frames. Okay, so let's look into it one more time. I created a transient table called wiki, select star from Netflix, changes information equal to default at stream. So I created this strnet. So first, let me just query this entire. I'm not creating a table, I'm just running this select statement. And here, when I created this select statement, it gave me two queries. But let's see that does it going to impact, does this select query going to impact on stream? Answer is no. I can still see the 4 records. Let's come to the main challenge. What if I'm going to run this create table command? Will my stream be erased or no? It will be having a data. Let's just figure out. I'm going to run this create table, and now let me run this select star from strnet. So my stream has 4 records, and my table called wiki is also having 2 records. So I am done with my requirement. Whatever I need, it's totally I have consumed it. If another person wants anything else, he can consume it. But in the same way, what if I'm just going to insert anything? Then how would I rewrite this query? This query will be nothing but information append only. And here you can even remove this where clause. This is totally up to you. But this query is not going to give me any record. Why? Because we have not performed any insert operation on this table. I hope you are clear. Okay, so this is one example that how you can utilize streams with the changes to capture only the partial records or to work as a multiple like you wanted to work in a multiple consumer project. But now the last thing is, what if I just wanted to capture only for a particular time frame? So here I am going to mention one query. So before that, you have to use one is the start time. I'm taking this ST and I have already did that. I have already basically selected it. So, but this is how you can write it. You can do anything, set timestamp and all that. So let's suppose if I have this current timestamp and which was around probably like let's say 15 minutes earlier. Okay, but this is how you can set the variable. I do not want it to reset it, otherwise I have to rerun the the update statement again. So in this, what we're gonna do, I will take the same query and this time I'm going to take create or replace transient table, and this is going to be for Varun. But Varun said, no, I do not need a stream. I don't have a stream on table. Suppose we do not have a stream on this table. So we will be writing a timestamp. All right. We're going to write timestamp, and then here you will be utilizing this variable ts1. Sorry, this st. So here dollar, this is how we use a variable st. Now, if you will be running this st and all, let's look at it. Oh, sorry, not this append only. It should be default. And here, let's see what happened. So I got the 4 records. But suppose whatever changes happened till time, which is like at the time of recording this video, suppose the time is 10:30 p.m. Suppose the time is 10:30 p.m. and the start time was, let's take an example, like this was at 10 p.m. So you only need the time, you only need the changes between these 30 minutes. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, you will be setting up a time set et select current timestamp. But how we gonna capture this Varun table? So what if I do not care whatever the changes is being made on this table after it? So let's suppose here there is one more records. This is the twilight. Okay, so I'm going to change this and it should be only and only twilight saga, not eclipse, suppose, and this is on 13. But I do not want this one, and let's say there is one, I'm making it delete from Netflix where show id equal to 20. Okay, now how many record I should have in this team? At least 7. I do have 7 records, but I do not want that my web app, like the web app, should have these three. Or web app doesn't bother about that. Whatever changes I've made after 10:30 p.m., I don't need to have those. So in this one, what you're gonna write, you will be utilizing the same query in this, but here after this at, you will be having one more clause which is basically end. And here you're going to mention timestamp variables et. So first, before creating this table, let me run this select statement. And if you will see, I am only and only getting the 4 records. If I remove this end clause and just run this, then I'm gonna get all those 7 records. But because I do not want like to capture after the one particular time frame, so I will be running only this select clause with the end, and then you can simply run a table called Varun. And here, if you will select star from Varun, there you have four tables. Now the big question, Vishal, will I be having any record in this str net? Because there you were using a stream, so might be you are reading the data from stream, but here we have not read it anywhere. But is there any kind of impact on stream? Answer is no. Your streams will also be having a data up to a default retention, like default stale period, which will be 14 days. Okay, so I hope you are clear that in which scenario you will be going, like so in which scenario the changes will be better than streams. Okay, so if you are if you are still trying to figure out it changes better than streams, then it depend on your use case. If you need a low latency real time data movement, then streams. If you want more flexibility, time range filtering, or a multiple user simplicity, then change is a winner. So thank you for watching. If you really like this video, then please comment. And in case you have any other scenarios which you want me to cover in next scenarios, then also comment it. Share with your friends and have a good day.